Hello again, everyone. This is Rudolph Wilkins with Forgotten Fitness, and today I'll be showing all of you a real forgotten exercise for bigger biceps, the incline curl. Now, originally when I made this video and this slideshow presentation, I had this titled Vince Gironda's Incline Curl. And the more I watched, the more I researched, I realized this is really not Vince Gironda's variation. This is the more traditional silver era bodybuilding variation, the one that I have always been doing. A guy by the name of Robert Torres, who actually trained with Vince Gironda and recorded his training session and made a wonderful DVD, he actually clarified this exercise, or Vince Gironda in that video clarified his variation of this exercise, and it is different. So I have proactively decided to change the title, because this, what I'm going to show you today, is not Vince Gironda's variation. This is the standard silver era incline curl. I would say it is equally as good as Vince Gironda's variation. It's just different. And I'm actually going to drop a link below for Robert Torres' YouTube video where he actually shows Vince Gironda explaining this exercise. I will not be using any information from that video or anything because I don't have the intellectual rights to use it, and that would be an infringement on his rights, so I'm not going to do that. But it's a wonderful video, and if you need any clarification, I would contact him in regards to Vince Gironda's variation. I'm going to be explaining the silver era variation that was popular with guys like Reg Park. Now, Reg Park loved this exercise. It was one of his favorites. John Park, Reg Park's son, actually told me that this was his favorite finisher exercise, that he would do this at the conclusion of his arm workout, and it would just exhaust him to the point that he couldn't even lift the bells anymore. He would go to that stage. And Arnold, too, adopted the same principle, and this was one of his favorite finisher exercises for the biceps, this variation. So in this video, I will be explaining this variation in detail. I will be, of course, describing it to all of you, and I'll demonstrate it for you, do a quick video demonstration and explain the demonstration. Of course, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns in regards to the video, just let me know in the comment section below. And I really hope you all enjoy this video. I also wanted to say, if you have any questions about why I call something one name and not the other, just ask. To tell is wrong, because I am very... The example is I had a video that I posted about Bill Pearl's favorite exercises that allowed him to build his titanic triceps. It's one of my most popular videos, and I had a couple of people in the comment section tell me that those exercises should be called, you know, skull crushers and tricep extensions. Well, the names I picked were intentional because Bill Pearl called them that in his Keys to the Inner Universe book. Those are the titles of those exercises. And that's what I called them because I wanted to keep the video focused on Bill Pearl. I wanted to have a focused goal to describe Bill Pearl's exercises, not another variation of the same exercise. I think people think all these exercises are the same. This one I'll be showing you, for example, is not the same as Vince Gironda's variation of an incline curl, and is not the same of other people as well. So to lump all these exercises together is wrong because you're losing out on certain tips and tricks that these athletes gave you. So that's just a little pet peeve of mine. I think it's okay to ask, but to tell, for the most part, is the wrong way to approach situations like this because bodybuilding is complex. You know, it's been around for 100 years, well over 100 years, and people have different ideas for exercises. And you have to appreciate those. And the whole point of my channel is I am expressing those to all of you. I am telling you about those exercises, the different variations that came along, the different names, how they're performed. So that was just a little pet peeve of mine. So if you have any questions, do ask. But as far as telling me that I'm wrong, you have to have pretty good evidence because I'm a big reader. Anyways, I hope you all enjoy this video. And let me know if you have any questions, and I'll make sure to get back to you. So a great question is, what is the incline curl and why would you ever want to perform it? Well, it's likely if you've been to any gym in the last 20 years, you've probably seen someone performing this exercise. But the silver era variation and the golden era variation are a little bit different. They are not straight up and down with the dumbbells. They are intentionally made more difficult so that you get increased stimulus in the muscles, of course, which is, these guys were geniuses. They knew how to work with limited equipment, but really make the most out of it. This photo here, of course, is Arnold Schwarzenegger doing this exercise, and he learned it from Reg Park. He was a big fan of Reg Park. He trained with Reg Park. He learned a lot of his methods from Reg Park. And so he carried it over into the golden era, and guys like Lee Haney in the 1980s also performed this exercise. But in more recent years, I think it has definitely fallen out of favor for like cable curl variations, which is really sad because this exercise definitely has its place. The method in which it uses gravity to make the exercise more difficult is really hard to match, with cables. So I'll go into explanation about this exercise. It was very common during the silver era and golden eras of bodybuilding. You saw it across the board. Guys like Steve Reeves also very much enjoyed this exercise. And Reg Park, of course, would make it a finisher exercise. John Park told me about how Reg would do this exercise at the very end of his arm workout to really exhaust the biceps to the point where he couldn't even lift the dumbbells after doing a couple sets of this to finish off his arm day. It is a staple exercise in developing the peak of the bicep. At least that was the idea. And you can see here Arnold's peak is definitely popping out, maybe even more so than if he were to do a standard bicep curl. It allows for a greater stretch due to the upper arm being in a more compromised position. In the same way it works like a supine bench curl. So if you're laying on a flat bench and doing a curl, it's just a different angle. It hits the arm from a different angle, which is always beneficial, of course. Muscular confusion. You want to begin by lying on a relatively flat inclined bench between 30 and 50 degrees. You will then pick up a pair of dumbbells and rotate your hands outwards so that your palms are facing forwards and just so slightly out. So you're intentionally bringing those arms out, and you should feel your biceps stretching immediately. You'll almost be working the muscle immediately when you're doing that. This is the pre-stretch. You'll allow your arms to dead hang from this position, so you'll have no flexion in the arms. They will be dead hanging. And then you will begin raising the dumbbells very slowly and in a controlled manner. And you want to make sure you do not allow the dumbbells to fall when you get at the very top. So you'll bring them up slowly, and once you're at the top, you want to contract and cramp the biceps, and you don't just want to let the dumbbells fall, okay? You also want that lower portion of the movement, so slow back down. Additionally, you want to make sure to keep your shoulders, and this is something I see a lot of people performing correctly now. You want to make sure to keep your shoulders and upper back connected to the bench. Now, a lot of these guys would lift their head, including myself. I like lifting my head and having my chin kind of tucked to my chest. But you do not want to lift the shoulders and upper back off the bench. You don't want to round the back. That's eliminating the movement, essentially. You're bringing your body back into a more comfortable position and taking away the compromised nature of the exercise. So keep your shoulders locked to the bench. This formula for slow repetitions creates a great muscle growth stimulus, of course, and it can be applied to other exercises as well. A tip here is you do not want to let your form become sloppy or to bounce the dumbbells up at the top. So if you're at the bottom and you're really struggling, you don't want to bounce the dumbbells and like pull them up and have to really force it up and become sloppy in your form. Instead, what I would recommend is doing partials. If you're really trying to burn out the biceps, do partials up to where you can't go anymore, and that's how you can hit a real effective burnout set with this exercise. Okay, and that's pretty much the incline curl. I'm going to demonstrate it now for all of you in a short little video and explain it. Alright, and this is the incline curl. Now I want to direct your attention to when I go down here, see where my arms are. You can see how my hands angled outwards. That's intentional. I want to make sure my palms are facing slightly out. I am making sure to keep my upper back and shoulders locked on the bench. And I'm also hitting a pseudo vacuum. This has become a habit for me. This is just what a lot of the older guys did. They don't let their stomach or abdomen become just loose. Okay, they have a tightened abdominal section. So that's something I've been doing and implementing into my training, and I love it. So I make sure to have a tight abdominal section. And when I'm bringing those dumbbells up at the top, I'm cramping, taking a second pause, cramping the arms, back down slow. And that's really the key to this, slow and controlled and as heavy as possible. This is only about 25 pounds. I typically go up to around 35 pounds in this exercise for 8 to 10 reps. That's my rep range, and I found it to be very effective. I, unlike Reg Park, don't do this even as a finisher exercise. I'll do it as an opener to warm up the arms. You're pre-stretching the arms. That's how I like to implement it. But it really can go anywhere. If you're doing a full body routine, throw this in right after you do some bench presses or incline presses, and you'll be able to hit your biceps. Or if you're doing splits and you're working your arms only, you could add it in, put it in the beginning, maybe at the end. But it really is kind of one of those staple exercises that it just hits your arm from a different angle. If you've only ever done standing dumbbell curls or standing barbell curls, this variation will feel intense. It'll be intense on you. But it's really wonderful. Let's see what else here. Another thing I like to do with curls in general, because I like to work my forearms a lot. I like to have really strong, big forearms. The thing I like to do is I like to curl down at the bottom. They call this the Draper curl or the Draper effect, where you curl down to the fingertips. It was a big thing that Dave Draper liked to do. And I do that as well. When I get to the bottom, I'll curl the fingers down to get that just extra stretch. And that's the incline curl. It is a wonderful exercise. One of my favorites. Maybe my favorite bicep exercise overall. I'd have to think about it, but it's up there. I would definitely say all of you give it a try if you haven't already. I'm sure a lot of you all are doing it, but these little tips about keeping the arms kind of out more, twisting the palms so that they're facing out, they really do help and they matter and they affect the exercise overall. So like I mentioned, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns about the exercise, do let me know in the comment section. I'll make sure to get back to you. This kind of is going to start my series where I'm going to be doing one exercise per week. That's going to be a little bit of over the next couple months because I'm in grad school. If you haven't already seen my last video, I will be doing about one video a week over an exercise. I'll be trying to go pretty in depth. And I'll be as active as I can on my other social platforms, but we'll see. It'll just kind of depend on my schedule from a week-to-week basis. But I hope you all enjoy this video. Thank you for sticking by me. And yeah, I hope you all enjoy. Until next time, this is Forgotten Fitness signing out. Bye-bye.